We'll wait for a few more minutes. Yeah. Uh, just wait for a few more minutes. Looks like there is some network issue. Uh, Sorry, team. Just wait for another 1 or 2 minutes. I have some network issue at my side. Okay. So let's try to let me share the screen. Okay. I'm sharing the screen. So I'll just give a brief demo of what this course is going to be. So let me share my screen. Okay, so hope you guys are able to see the screen. Please let me know if you have any challenges in the screen visibility. Okay, can any one of you please confirm that you're able to see the screen?
It's visible.
Okay, so uh, this course, LoadRunner, is a part of the performance testing, uh, work effort. So basically, if you see any openings related to performance testing, so one of the main tool that's generally part of it is like the LoadRunner. So I'll introduce myself first. So my name is Krushik. So I have around 16 years of experience in IT, specifically into automation and performance engineering. So I will be trainer for this course. So without any further delay, so let's go ahead and uh, go with the brief demo of the tool and performance testing concepts. So before understanding what is the tool and its components, and before even looking into the course content, so let's try to understand performance testing, in general. So um, let's take this slide. So we all know that software testing, okay, is one of the key aspects of any IT project. So every software has to undergo the testing phase, and in that testing phase, we have functional testing and non-functional testing. So functional testing is all about testing the functionality of the application, okay, and non-functional testing is all about you know not verifying the non-functional aspects. We'll see what are those, but the functional testing is primarily focused on checking the functionality of the application. Let's take a generic example. Uh, you are using a lift or an escalator. Okay, so let's say you went inside the lift and press 3. That means you need to go to third floor. So when you press 3, that means the we are verifying whether the lift or an escalator is going to third floor. If you press 4, it should go to fourth floor. So that means you are checking the functionality of the lift, uh, you know, floor buttons, right? So similarly, when it comes to non-functional aspect, what exactly we verify is how much time it is taking to go to third floor or how much time it is taking to go to fourth floor. Okay, so here the same thing is applicable in the IT projects, software testing projects as well. So let's say if I ask you to test the login functionality, so what you generally do, so you enter username, password, you click on login button, and you verify if the user is able to log in successfully or not. But that's not where the performance tester is more interested. Rather, performance tester is more interested in knowing how much time it is taking to navigate to home page after clicking on login button. So you enter username and password and click on login button. So how much time it is taking to go to how much time it is taking to navigate to the home page is what the performance tester will be interested in. Okay. So in every project, right? So this performance testing phase is mandatory nowadays. Very, very important. So if you don't do performance testing for a new application, there is a high risk that it can eventually result in a business loss. Okay, before we discuss what are the impacts of not going through the performance testing phase. So if you see the definition of the non-functional testing over here, it says testing the non-functional aspects of the application like performance, right? So performance testing is always a non-functional testing, and the tools that we generally use in the market are like LoadRunner, Jmeter, NeoLoad, Gatling, etc. But out of all these, LoadRunner and Jmeter are the most widely used tools in the market. Okay, so hope you got some clarity about what is this performance testing all about? So I'll write some generic definition, okay, not a textbook definition. So checking the performance of an application by applying some load or load, basically. What do you mean by this? Checking the performance of application by applying load. So take the same example of a lift or an escalator. You went inside the lift and pressed 3. That means the lift has to go to third floor. Okay. Now, if you are alone and if you press 3, it will go to third floor, but that's not how you analyze the performance of it. So the lift already has some predefined capacity, right? Like 10 people or 500 kgs or something like that. So we have to test the performance by, you know, loading the lift with like maximum people. When maximum people are on board, then press 3, how much time it is taking to go to third floor is important for us. Okay, so that's the load. Same thing applies for software application as well. If a single user is accessing the application, that doesn't make sense. If 100 users are accessing the application, then it can be evaluated for its performance. If a single user is accessing the application, you cannot evaluate the performance of that application. Okay, because single user doesn't apply any load. So a load is nothing but the volume, the number of users those are accessing the application. Okay, that's the reason. In simple terms, it's all about checking the performance of an application by applying load. Okay, so hope everyone are clear. So it's just a textbook kind of definition, not sorry, it's a generic definition, not a textbook kind of definition. Okay. So in this performance testing space, we have multiple tools available in the market, like LoadRunner, Jmeter, like that. Okay. Now, since this is a LoadRunner course, so let's try and understand the LoadRunner architecture. Okay, in simple terms. So this is the LoadRunner architecture diagram, which I'm deriving it based out of some questions. So let's say there is an application. Okay, so let's say there is an application, which let's say banking application or something like that. Now, if you have to test the application, banking application for its performance, okay, so how do you test it? What all do you need to test the application for its performance? So first you need to have some set of users who can log in and analyze, who can log in and apply this load, right? So if I ask you to test the banking application for its performance with 500 users, will you be able to get 500 laptops or 500 desktops and give it to the users, okay, real users, and ask them to log in at the same time? Is it possible? Even though if it's possible, let's say I'm asking you to test for 2000 users. Will you bring 2000 laptops and desktops and give it to 2000 users and ask them to log in and so that we can evaluate the performance? No, right? So we need a component which can actually simulate a virtual users, and those virtual users will mimic a real user behavior, like clicking a link or clicking a button, something like that. So there is a component called load generator, which is primarily responsible for simulating the virtual users. And those virtual users will mimic the same real user actions. So this component, load generator, is primarily responsible, okay, is primarily responsible for uh, generating the virtual users. Okay. So one second, guys. So what is the first component? Load generator. And the task of the load generator is to simulate the virtual users like how a real user generally, you know, performs the action. Okay. Okay, you see, that's how it is. Okay, so this is a component, load generator. Now, once you have the load generator, which will simulate the virtual users, okay, which will simulate the virtual users. So those users need to, you know, do some actions on the application. So what are the actions that those users will perform, like clicking a link or clicking a button? So those actions will be on some critical scenarios. Like let's say there is one critical scenario, like the transfer money is one of the critical scenario. Okay. So yes, as part of transfer money, what we generally do, we launch application, we log into the application, we navigate to, let's say, savings account, we select a beneficiary, let's say it's a banking application, that's the reason. Select a beneficiary, enter amount, and click transfer maybe, right? And then log out. So these are the common steps for transfer money scenario. So this is a critical scenario that we need to test for its performance. Now, if you want to test this scenario for performance, you need to run these steps. Yes or no? How? With multiple users. Who is creating those users? Load generator is taking care of those users. But how do those users run these steps? So in order for the users to run these steps, we need to generate a script for the same steps. And that script generation, we can do it using a component called Vusion. Okay. What is Vusion all about? It is all about developing the scripts required by the users to run. Okay. Now, when you have scripts ready, we need to upload and configure and run, right? So for that, we need an additional component, which we may call it as controller or performance center here. Okay, this is where you configure the scenario and trigger the execution. And once the execution is done, you have a component called analysis to analyze the results in detail with basically like detailed graphs. So this component will give you a detailed graphs, okay, of the test that has been executed. So by looking at the graphs, we can analyze what went right or what went wrong, okay, and whether the performance test was successful or it is a failed test or it's a partial success. Now all these things can be determined. So what are the important components of LoadRunner architecture? Load generator, which will simulate the virtual users, Vusion to generate the scripts, controller or performance center to configure the scenario and trigger the execution, analysis is to analyze the results. Hope everyone are clear. So this is just a high level understanding. Okay, so if you have to discuss in detail, that will be generally done in our upcoming sessions. But since it's an initial demo, basic demo session, I'm just giving you a high level understanding of what each component is all about. Okay, so hope everyone are clear so far. Any questions? Right? So no worries. So if there are no questions, let's take it as no, and let's go to the next. Okay, so sample, record, and replay. Okay, so I would like to discuss few things on this sample, record, and replay. So in this architecture, if I have to record or generate a script, what is the component that I have to use? Anyone? Anyone? If I have to use a component from this architecture, which component I have to use?
Venkat, are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I had some audio issues. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I
No
was asking a
issues.
question. What is controller slash PC means in your here?
It's a performance center. Basically, we use performance center or controller or basically kind of an LRE also. So all this component is primarily used to configure a scenario that we want to run, like load test, stress test, or endurance test, the different types of tests that we have to configure and trigger the execution. Okay, so this component is to generate virtual users. This component is to generate the scripts for which we need to analyze the performance. And those scripts, once generated, we will upload into this controller and configure the scenario and then trigger the execution. Once the execution is done, we can look into the results, and the detailed logs in this analysis component. So by looking at the logs and graphs, we will be able to, provide our observations and concerns to the client, like what went right or what went wrong, or if the performance test is successful or failure or a partial success. Okay. So these are the primary important components of LoadRunner architecture. This is just a high level information. So we have to discuss all of these things in detail. Whatever the things that we are discussing today, we are going to discuss in detail in our upcoming sessions as well. Okay. So, okay. Now, what if I have to do a simple record and replay? Okay. Which component I need to use?
Vision.
Vusion, correct?
I think somebody, Lavan, is trying to join since you need to allow her.
Yeah, I don't see anyone waiting as per my. Yeah, no, in normal cases, anyone should be able to approve, but I don't see anyone waiting as of now.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the Vusion is the component which is primarily responsible for generating the script or developing the script or enhancing the script, right? So we will just do a sample record and replay for 2-3 steps, and I'll show you how the script will be generated in Vusion so that we'll get more clarity. So let's say this is a sample application. Now, the steps that I'm going to record is launch this application and then log in by entering some username and password like this. And then once I log in, I will then just click sign off. Okay, so these 3 simple steps I'm going to record. So I have to use a component called Vusion, right? So I will launch that component now. So you will be able to see this component once the tool is installed in your laptop. So I will be launching that Vusion by just typing Vusion in the search bar, and you will be able to see the Vusion component over here. Okay, so once this component is launched, okay, so it will be something like this. And then we will discuss all the menu options later on. So just go to file and new script and solution. Okay. And you have
Later on,
to
share how do you download this?
yeah, we will. Yeah. So all those things will be shared, and the team will assist you in in the tool setup aspect. So we'll look into that for sure in upcoming sessions. So I'll create one folder where we might save the scripts. So let me do one thing. So let me create one folder here. So let's say April, and the script name I'm going to give it to as demo. And basically the protocol that we will select is this one. So if you are doing if you want to do some scripting of any web application which is like HTTP or HTTPS, so basically we have to use this protocol. Okay, so we'll discuss in detail, but for now just remember that we are using this protocol, and the script name that I've given is demo, and the script location is this one. This is where I'm going to save the script, and I clicked on create. So it's going to create a sample. I mean, not sample. Basically, it's going to create a default script layout, something like this. And this is where the script will be edited or developed or recorded. On the left hand side, you see all the options that we have, which will support the script recording, execution, okay, uh, passing different sets of test data, and so on. We'll look into all of those later on. So I want to record 3 steps today, right? So to record those 3 steps, so I can just click on this record icon over here. So you see the record icon over here. So I'll just click on that record icon, or you can go to record and click on this record option. But you can simply click on this record icon over here, which will open a pop-up window. And in this pop-up window, we have different options. We'll see all of them in detail later on. But for now, I just need to select the browser which I want to use for recording. I just want to use this browser which I want to use for recording. I can choose Firefox, Edge, Chrome. Okay, I can use Firefox, Edge, or Chrome. And this is where I need to give the application URL. So whatever the application that you want to test, whatever the application that you want to do or use it for scripting, that application URL you need to give it here. Okay. So here I'm gonna just give the sample application URL for now. Okay. So what happens when I click on start recording is this particular browser will be launched with this given URL. And then I can perform those steps so that the script will be recorded. Okay. So what's going to happen when I click on start recording? So this browser will be started with this particular URL. Okay. Let's say click on start recording. So when I click on start recording, you will see Mozilla Firefox browser launched, and then you will see uh, you know a movable window like this, which has a lot of options for recording purpose. We'll see those. Okay. Um, so you see the Firefox browser is being launched, and you see it is actually trying to navigate to the URL that I mentioned. See, it navigated to that URL successfully, right? And you also see this mobile window. And here you see the there is a count which keeps on increasing as we perform some actions on the UI. So that's a good sign that the tool is able to record the application successfully if this number keeps on increasing. Okay. And you have different options like stop recording, pause recording, cancel recording. We'll see these options later. Probably commenting, uh, checkpoints and all. So again, we'll see these options in detail later on. So these two, for time being, just keep an eye on these two. So this one is start transaction. So you have to click on this and give a name to the action that you are performing, which we call as transaction. And once you give the name and perform that action on the UI, okay, perform that action on the UI, and then this other icon will also be enabled, which is called insert end transaction. So let's see. So can anyone tell me what is the action that we are going to perform next on this particular UI? What is the next main action that we are going to perform? Kind of login,
Login?
right?
Yeah.
Login. So we haven't logged in, right? So what I will do, I will give a name to this transaction by clicking on insert start transaction. Let's say I will give it as login. Okay, click OK. And then don't click on this insert end transaction. Rather, first go ahead and perform the action that you want to do. So enter username and password and click login. So the user should be able to log in successfully. And now wait for a few seconds and then click on this end transaction. So this is where the login is going to end. Okay. Next, click on insert start transaction. What is the next action that I'm going to perform? What
Look
is the
at
next?
for the flights to
Basically
resort.
log. Okay, I can click on anything, but let's do log out. Okay. So I just want to log out. So I just entered a name called logout, and I'm going to click on this sign off link on the UI, and the user logged out successfully. Wait for a few seconds and click on this end transaction. Now, let's say I want to stop recording because let's assume that I have recorded all the steps that I want to. So I click on stop recording. Now, when I click on stop recording, the script will be generated. And let's see how it's generating the script. And let's try to understand, the script as well at a high level today. So this is a recording report. So we will look into this later on. So let me go to the script directly. So this script got generated, like around 60 lines of code got generated. Very easy to understand. If you see line number 33, okay, 1 second guys, be online. Okay, if you see line number 33, LR underscore start underscore transaction. So login. So why this piece of line got generated? If you remember, just few minutes ago, I clicked on insert start transaction and I have given a name to it called login. So with that, this line got generated, and it's this is the point where the login functionality started, or the login step or action started. So this request over here, which you are seeing, is a login request. Okay. If you see the username that I entered and the password that I entered, so basically this request got generated. Okay. For the action that I performed. What is the action that I performed? I entered username and password and I clicked on login. So for that action, this piece of code generated, and this request is purely related to login. And after that, you can see it ended over here. It says end transaction. So this piece of code got generated when I actually clicked on insert end transaction. Okay. And if you see this line number 56, again, one more start transaction initiated, and the name is logout. If you remember, I clicked on insert start transaction later on, and have given a name called logout, and I manually clicked on sign off link on the UI, and for which it generated this request. For which it generated this request. Okay, and after that, you see, as usual, LR end transaction logout. This is where logout ended. So this is logout transaction. This is login transaction. Okay, and before that, you have one request. Okay, ignore this for time being, not required. So before that, you have one request. Can anyone tell what is this request all about? Can anyone tell what is this request all about?
That is
Launch.
a home page, right? That is a home
Launch.
page,
Basically,
right?
launch. Yeah, kind of
Application
launch,
under test. That is AUT.
right? So for this launch transaction, basically, I don't see any start transaction like this or end transaction like this, because by the time a movable window appeared where I'm able to insert the start transaction or insert the end transaction, this application already generated, the browser already launched with the given URL. So for example, if I click on record again, you see, when I click on start recording, this browser already launched with this given URL. That's the reason this piece of code generated. Now, and then onwards, a movable window appeared where I had to give insert start transaction and insert end transaction, right? So then onwards, I have an option to give a name. Okay. So no worries. I can still manually enter that, something like this. I can manually write like this. Okay, and I can give a name to it. Since I know this is all about launch, okay, since I know this is all about launch, I can give a name to it called launch. So this is where launch is actually starting. Can anyone tell me where the launch is going to end?
Put the think
Eh,
tank. Before think tank.
Yeah, after line number 31. Okay, so I can use LR end underscore transaction, everything in small case, lowercase letters. Okay, so launch, and then you have to write syntax as LR auto. We'll discuss what is that later. But we are starting launch here and we are ending it here. So this is launch request. This is login request. And then this is logout request. Okay. So this is how the script gets generated for whatever the actions you perform while recording the script. Okay. So we have to learn this kind of scripting in detail. So probably we might have to enhance little bit and so on. For that, we need to do or learn some amount of scripting. Okay, but this is a general script that got that you can see that got generated, which is a simple script, right? So if I want to replay this, what will happen? Wait, how do I replay? So there is a replay icon over here. So if I replay, what will happen? First, this transaction gets executed, then this transaction gets executed, then this transaction gets executed. Okay, let me run. So I clicked on the replay icon, okay, from the menu options, and the script will be replayed and you get the result also. See, the result is passed and you see launch login, logout. So launch has taken 0.3 seconds, 0.35 seconds. Login has taken like 0.23 seconds. Logout has taken 0.203 seconds. Okay. Any, okay. Everyone understood like how the simple script is getting generated? Any questions? So it's very simple. Okay. So generating the script is very simple. Sometimes enhancing the script or tweaking the script as per our requirement will take little bit time, for which we need to master scripting. Okay, that's what we are going to learn as part of our scripting steps. Okay, so we will learn like for a minimum of 2 weeks for scripting. Okay, it's that important. Okay, minimum 2 3 weeks, basically 3 weeks, what I can say. Okay, so we understood like, okay, we know what is performance testing. We have seen the diagram of LR architecture and its components. We have seen a simple record and replay as well with the VueGen component, right? So without wasting any time, let me go and uh, walk you through the course content as well. So this is the course content. So which is like LoadRunner basic to advanced course content. So the number of sessions for this course would be like from 35 to 40. So, and again, it depends. Sometimes we might end up like 38, 37, 39, sometimes 40, 41, something like that, depending on how the end of the batch classes go on. Like sometimes what will happen, we might end up doing more sessions on interview Q&A. Like for example, previous batch, I think we had 3 sessions for interview question and answers. Okay, only to discuss the interview question and answers, we had like 3 sessions. Okay, and so here, if you see, the course content starts with architecture basics and introduction to performance testing and its life cycle, and basically introduction to LoadRunner. So this is these are the initial topics that we are going to discuss in the first 1 week. And then we switch to scripting part, where we discuss about the best scripting practices in VueGen, naming conventions, debugging, record and replay. Okay. And also we deal with runtime settings. Uh, so these runtime settings will assist you in replaying the script successfully. So there are a lot of runtime settings we will discuss. And we'll also see how we can record the script. What if I'm unable to record the script? What are the other options that we have for script generation? And we'll also see like a kind of checkpoints which are important for script validations. So one important topic. And then some important concept like introduction to C language, like for 3 to 4 sessions, we will discuss on these basics of C language, because to enhance the script or to modify the script as per your requirement, you need to have an understanding of basics of C language or a JavaScript. But primarily we'll go with C language because that's been there since many years. Okay, since the inception of this tool, right? So C language is a primary language that is generally used in LoadRunner projects. Of course, if you are familiar with JavaScript, you can use JavaScript as well, but that was recently added to the tool as a supporting language. But C language was there, since the launch of this tool, like for many years. Like I don't know, like if it's like 15-20 years. Okay, so we are going to cover for 3 to 4 sessions on the introduction to C language. Okay, so whatever the concepts that we are going to learn as part of this, so that is more than enough for your scripting. In a scripting instance, any sort of scripting. And then you have a C language, other C language functions which are important to learn. We'll cover that, and some LoadRunner functions. And also we will discuss on how to read and write some data to the files, which might be required in some cases. And from interview point of view, we'll discuss what are the real-time challenges in scripting. Okay. And there is one important concept called correlation. Generally, we discuss for 3 to 4 sessions. So very important. Without learning this concept, um, it's not it's not a complete scripting that you will be doing. Okay, so it's a kind of an incomplete script if you don't implement this concept. Okay, it's that important. And then you have parameterization. This is all about passing different types of test data and all that stuff. So again, very, very important. We'll be learning this for 3 sessions. And then we will be learning on how to create or configure a scenario and then trigger the execution. We'll learn how to create stress test, load test, endurance test. Okay, and also we will run one complete load test end to end with live metrics. Okay, and then we deal with analysis because this is very important because we are the ones who are responsible to inform the client on what went right or what went wrong during the test. Okay, so we need to do proper analysis. And then we also, I mean, after doing the analysis, we'll also understand or learn how to draft an email with all our observations and concerns to client. So we also have like interview question and answer sessions, multiple sessions. We do scripting for multiple applications because I mentioned every application is different and every application will have little bit changes in the scripting part. So we are trying to cover as much as scripting, which is very important. And that means once you master scripting from this course, I'm 100% sure, more than 100% sure that you will be able to do any sort of scripting in any sort of application. Okay. And then we'll also cover one of the important topic or a kind of a utility called virtual table server, which works in sync with the LoadRunner. Okay. And then we have all these bonus topics where we discuss about other scripting techniques if Fusion is unable to record. We'll discuss about APM tools, like the application monitoring tools like AppDynamics and Dynatrace. So AppDynamics, I can provide a recorded session of this. Dynatrace, I will take one live session on this. Okay. So the reason is every participant who is actually learning LoadRunner, okay, or performance testing, they should be knowing what is this APM tool and what exactly we do with this tool and how to monitor all the metrics and so on. Okay. And apart from the web protocol that we have discussed so far, that we have used for script generation so far today, we will also discuss on learn, one session on True Client, which is a different protocol. And we'll also discuss about the web services protocol. We'll also have one recorded session on the Java user protocol, which we use to connect to database through LoadRunner. Okay. And we also have a sessions on thread dumps and heap dumps, which is primarily important for clearing the interview. And we'll discuss some load balancer algorithms and also one recorded session on AWR reports. So in this sheet, in this particular slide, this, this and this will be given to you as a recorded session. Remaining things will be a live sessions. Okay.
Can you throw some light on True Client? What is it used for?
Basically, it's one of the protocol
Mhm.
which LoadRunner supports. So the reason that we have to use that protocol as well, this is a True Client. So the reason
Mhm.
why we have to use the protocol is it will give you a metrics of an end-to-end, scenario. So in sense, um, like whatever the web protocol that we are using for scripting, it will
Yeah.
give you server response times. Okay,
Oh,
like
yeah.
how
Some
much
client
time?
side response. You get client side response also from True Client.
Correct. So you get both server response times and browser rendering times as well. Okay, when
Got
you
it.
use
Got
True
it.
Client. Okay,
Got
but
it.
there are some disadvantages and limitations of using it. So we will discuss what are those, and we'll also learn how to do scripting. And also our team will provide you a separate playlist, a recorded playlist for this protocol as well, and for this web services as well. So I will take one session, live session on this protocol and this protocol, but team will give you a recorded playlist, like having multiple sessions in detail for this protocol and for this protocol. Okay, so apart from this, basically you get a recorded sessions, a separate playlist for this and for this as well.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the concepts that we are going to discuss for 35 to 40 sessions. Okay, and the session will be like same times, 8 a.m. IST to 9 a.m. IST, and probably from Monday to Friday, generally every week. And yeah, any questions from your side?
Okay, is Kumar is available today to talk? Kumar, I don't know who is.
Yes. He should be available.
Okay.
Probably you can ping in the group,
No, I pinged
mentioning that
him.
I need to talk to Kumar sir. So he will be
Yeah,
reaching
I
out
pinged
to
him
you.
already in the WhatsApp. Yeah. I spoke to him
Uh, y-
yesterday.
uh-huh.
Yeah. I spoke to him yesterday. He said he's going to connect with me some Soumya or somebody. I don't know. I forgot her name. I need some interesting because I have an interview. I want to get prepared. I used to be in performance. I left performance. Now I'm coming back to performance. So that's my background.
Okay, great. Okay. So yeah, you can reach out to Kumar sir. Sir will definitely assist.
Yeah. Who's there from,
Actually, sorry.
other than you, your faculty? Who's there here? Dhaneshwari? Who's
Uh,
driving this
mm,
meeting? Vijay.
uh-huh. Okay.
I'm
So,
asking who is driving this meeting?
you mean to say who is going to take this course or only this meeting?
No, no, this course you said you're going to take, right? I'm talking about from HR and training team. Anybody there in this call?
Oh, okay. I think Shravani, ma'am will. I think she is available in the
Oh,
chat
sorry.
right now. You can reach out to her. I think
I
she will
don't
make.
have I don't have a number. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. You can just ping in the group, or you can just ping me privately your number. I will give it to Kumar sir. Kumar sir will ping you once he's in the office.
Yeah, Kumar already he spoke. He pinged me
Yeah,
yesterday.
probably Kumar sir will be there in the office maybe by in next 1 or 2 hours for sure.
Okay,
So I
okay,
think
okay.
he'll respond to you for sure in
Yeah,
next one
he
or two
said he's
hours.
going to have a group chat with Simon and somebody. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I think
So,
Shravani. Yeah,
so is
correct.
your name Venkataraj?
No, my name is Krushik. I this URL is given to me for today. I think
Yeah, I was thinking
there
you
is some
introduced
naming
as Rishik,
confusion.
but your name's Venkataraj. I got that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have shared a different link, so I did not edit the name. So
It's okay. It's
going
okay.
forward, I will edit it. Yeah.
So where are you working, Arjun?
Uh, I'm currently, located. I mean, working from abroad. So basically it's a night time for me, and probably it should be. I mean, if you, I don't not sure where are you from, but I think if it's IST,
I'm in California.
okay. So yeah, okay. Oh, okay. So sure, I think we can connect. No,
Yeah.
not an issue. So
Okay. Yeah.
probably, yeah. So probably I think you are in the PST, so I'm in the EST. So yeah, we can connect. No
Oh,
issues.
EST. So go and sleep, man. Already 9:20, 11:20. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can connect. You ping me if you have any questions in the morning times. We can discuss. I can assist you with interview questions as well.
So yeah, I don't know whether you have my number. Yeah.
Okay, I'll ping in the group
Hello.
after the session, so you can make a
Okay.
note of my number. Yeah,
Chalo. Thank you.
Hi. Hello.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah,
Actually,
thank you.
the LoadRunner is a very high paid, right? Why you are choosing for LoadRunner
Yeah,
other
good
than
question.
Jmeter?
Yeah,
Good
good
question.
question. So the thing is, many financial and banking organizations or many large organizations, they especially banking and financial, they prefer data security over everything. Okay, it doesn't matter about what's the cost or price. They prefer the customer's data and the data security as a priority thing. So they don't take risk with open source tools because they don't want their firm's data to be in the open source, softwares anywhere. So that's the reason they primarily stick to these licensed tool, which is LoadRunner. That's the first thing. Second thing is, LoadRunner is the only tool in the market which supports wide variety of protocols, which no other tool will support for sure. So if you see the screen over here, I'm not saying you need to learn everything, but I can confidently say that no other tool will support all these protocols. Okay. So you see those so many protocols, remote
You're
terminal
saying
emulator
that
protocol.
in Jmeter I cannot use this SAP?
No, not it completely not it will not support as of now completely. That there are some alternatives, but it's way too complex. It's not
Yeah, that is
even
true. Even
yeah.
I used Cavisan tool that's also paid. Cavisan is a company
Yeah.
that's tool.
So for example, you have this
Mm.
remote terminal emulator. Okay. So this protocol generally we use very, very rare, but let's say this is used to test any applications which are related to warehouse management systems. Okay. For example, you have a huge, store chains, like, you have different retail stores across the places, and all the stock of that particular stores will be stored in some hubs. And in that hub, how the stock is coming in, going out, what is the stock available, to which store we have to send, the entire data that we manage. So if you want to test that for performance, we have to use this protocol called remote terminal emulator. And this are so these kind of specific protocols are no other tools. I mean, like open source tools will support, like RDP, RTE. Okay, these are all the protocols that other uh, tools will not support. For example, TrueClient is there. TrueClient protocol will give you both server response times and browser rendering times for you. It's a good protocol to use if the client wants to exactly know the end-to-end user times, but this is not directly supported in Jmeter. If you want to know the browser rendering times of Jmeter, it will not give you directly. You have to integrate your Jmeter script with, again, Selenium scripts, Selenium concepts and Selenium scripts. So it's a different approach altogether,
But in
which is
K6
very
it's
time
possible,
taking.
right?
Sorry.
What about K6? Is it
K6,
possible?
yeah, it supports few protocols, but generally, but it will not, it will not support all the protocols which LoadRunner is supporting. Okay, so if you just have time, whenever you are free, just search in the browser the number of protocols supported by LoadRunner versus JMeter versus K6 versus Gatling versus NeoLoad. Just search the protocols that these tools support. You will definitely get the answer for sure.
Krishna, if there is no security requirement, if not mandatory, people are going for open source like Jmeter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. So if there are any like medium level organizations, or where they don't want to use spend so much of money for data, customers' data and all that stuff, or if client is not willing to give some budget to to get the license for these, so they might opt for JMeter. But again, it has its own limitations. But some protocols which are only supported by LoadRunner, of course, the client or your organization or the client, whoever it is, they need to purchase a license and go for the load testing. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah. So apart from these, I mentioned about the number of sessions. I mentioned about the timings. I mentioned about I mentioned about the course content. I mentioned about okay, and also in every batch there will be some participants like who are coming from non-IT background. So keeping their uh, inputs in mind, I generally take few extra sessions, like 2-3 extra sessions. That's the reason sometimes the batch number of sessions exceeds 40. Otherwise, we can wind it up in 35, but generally it goes to 40 because I just want the other participants who are from non-IT background. I want them to be comfortable in scripting, so I generally take more scripting sessions. Okay. Um, so yeah. So I think we have covered some good number of points in today's session, which is a kind of a brief session, not in detail. But I'm sure you might have got some clear picture on what is this course about, and what is the tool that we are going to use, and what is the course content that we are going to cover, and the number of sessions, and so on. Any other specific questions that we can discuss?
Thank you. Good intro.
Yes,
This
yes. Yeah.
this
So
course is specifically for LoadRunner, or will there be any? I mean, just give me any insights on the JMeter as well, or anything as such.
no, this course is specifically for LoadRunner and some performance testing concepts in general, which are common for all the tools. For example, thread dumps and heap dumps, common for all the tools. Dynatrace, common for all the tools, right? So some fiddler or har file scripting can be common for all the tools. Load balancer algorithms, common for all the tools, right? AWR reports, common for all the tools. API testing, API performance, like kind of common for all the tools. So interview questions. Interview questions again are of two types. One is specifically to LoadRunner, and one is specific to the performance testing concepts. Okay, and real-time scenarios as well. So those are also covered as part of this course.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
one
So
one thing
uh-huh.
from my side. Because I can see nowadays in the job descriptions for even with performance testing as well, like the companies are asking like whether any CI/CD integration has been done from your side. Because most of the JDs which I have seen in Naukri, so
Mhm.
definitely this a point. This is the point which they are asking for from a performance tester as well. So, is
Yeah.
there any chance to cover in that
Um,
perspective as well from this course?
yeah, we can discuss. So we can discuss on how to trigger performance testing scenario using Jenkins. So that can be covered. But the reason I specifically did not add it in the course content is because the usage of CI/CD for performance testing is still a debatable topic. There are many reasons for that. For example, with the agile methodology that we follow, there are frequent deployments every week, and it is not recommended to run your load tests or endurance tests every week multiple times because every application is different and there might be a lot of data dependency, and it is really difficult to manage data if you're having a frequent deployments. And it is not necessary to run a load test frequently every week, one twice or something like that, because load test is something which we have to run only if the development team feels that there is some change which can impact the performance of the application. Okay, for example, if there is any application UI, okay, let's say they changed this name from web tours to global tours. So is there any requirement to, and they're doing the deployment. So is there any requirement to do the performance testing for that? Not required, right? So unnecessarily, if you integrate this in CI/CD, it will trigger it, right? So not required. So still, it's a debatable topic. There are a lot of challenges in that, but as of now, they can run a smoke test. Okay, like they can integrate CI/CD for performance testing to run a kind of a smoke test, which will run for 5 to 10 minutes, just to make sure our scripts are working as expected after every deployment. That's one thing that can help us. But beyond that, it's a debatable topic. If your application is not at all dependent on the test data, you can use it. You can run a load test once in a week. That's up to you.
But I think
Okay.
nowadays, as you asked rightly, it's better to do because there are some, as you covered a good point. Some scripts and scenarios only required with a properly defined baseline, right? Let's say there's every deployment every 1 week or every day. Have a baseline, solid baseline, then test it and compare. It's challenging, but it's required. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So as per the requirement, you can do, or let's say you have 10 scenarios, and out of those 10, 4 are not at all data dependent. Run those
Right.
4, okay, every time, and include the ones only once in a month or something like that, which has data dependency, because you need to prepare test data, and also one more thing. See, reports are there always, but it's always time taking to provide all the detailed observations and concerns to the client. It will take like half a day to analyze what went right, what went wrong in the load test. So if you do a frequent load testing and other types of testing, it will be difficult to provide our observations and concerns frequently, because every performance tester will simply not test just one application. They might be working on multiple applications, and if multiple
That's
applications are in place, it will be really difficult to handle all these every week multiple times.
Yeah, I agree. Last question. What is this version of HP LoadRunner you're using?
This one is 2022,
Mhm.
so which is more stable version and being used across most of the organizations.
How about
But
the
we'll
open text version? Open text LoadRunner,
this
where
is
it's in cloud.
open. Okay, I think this is. So if you
I
go
saw my
here,
previous colleague yesterday. She showed me it is used in the cloud. It's all cloud-based version.
uh, no, no, that's I mean, that's LRE is what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a cloud-based.
Yeah, cloud-based. Yeah, so I forgot to mention that point. Actually, there is something called LRE, which you can use it for creating a scenarios and executing,
Mm.
on physical machines or on the cloud or anywhere. So you can use this LRE, and
Enterprise? Is it
yeah, the
enterprise?
enterprise one.
Oh,
So this only for execution part is what I'm covering.
yeah.
Other components, scripting, analysis, and all, everything is same. Some organizations use controller for executing, some organizations use LRE for executing. So controller is what we are going to discuss live. This
Okay.
LRE, we have a separate playlist, like multiple sessions on this playlist, which is going to give you a detailed explanation of how to use this LRE and run your load testing or other types of testing from
Hmm.
step one to step, last step. This will be a separate playlist given to you by the admin team. They will give you access once you register. So
Oh,
parallelly, you can attend all these 35 40 sessions, and then parallelly quickly go through those few sessions of LRE, which will give you a clear picture of how the execution happens by using LRE, and with that, you should be in a position to use the tool across any organizations, even if it's controller or LRE or any whatever it is, you should be able
yeah.
to, work on that.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, Venkatesh, yes, obviously mock sessions, interview sessions will be there. So generally, we will have like 2 to 3 sessions just for interview question to discuss interview question and answers. So maybe if you show more interest during the interview question and answer sessions, we can extend. For example, in the previous batch, so I don't know, like I have given the option for them to get any question from anywhere across the social media platforms they use, ChatGPT, Google, whatever it is. Wherever you see interview questions, just bring it and discuss. We bring it and address in the interview question answer sessions. So we will discuss the answers for that, and it will help you a lot. So there is no limitation on the number of sessions that we might take for interview questions specifically, because the more number of questions you get, the more number of sessions we can discuss. It doesn't mean that I don't give questions. I will give my set of questions, but nowadays with the introduction of ChatGPT or any Google or other platforms, people are able to access different sort of information, right? So if you have any other extra information which I don't have with me, still you can get it. We can discuss in our Q&A sessions, interview Q&A sessions.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with this, yeah, probably uh, we can connect again. I hope to see all of you in the upcoming sessions as well. So I'll just update in the chat. So and
Yeah.
I
Tomorrow,
thanks.
tomorrow I may not be able to join. I have some party, some
Okay,
big
no
guy
issues.
came
Yeah, I
from
think
Hyderabad here. Yeah, I have
yeah
to
the
meet
team
him.
will communicate
Yeah.
on when is the next session. So and I thank each one of you for taking your time and joining this session, and have a great rest of the day.
Yeah. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Actually, hello.
you